T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Own it, own it, own it, Kong. I own it. It did.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
I'm sorry. You don't understand the conversation I just had like a few minutes ago, and I don't know why I'm so pale, but I am. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, for the SmackDown and Rampage Aftershow, the night before Money in the Bank. So Stephanie and I will be giving some of our predictions of the matches tomorrow, who we think is going to win. And go from there. Stephanie, how are you doing? You good?
I'm doing good. I'm kind of tired, kind of sleepy, but outside of that, I'm doing fine. Wrestling is popping off in this Friday night. Like lots of cool stuff is happening in the wake of Forbidden Door happening this past weekend, and then we're going into, of course, Money in the Bank tomorrow. So it's just a lot of good stuff going on. So I'm excited.
TK.
Yes, happy Canada Day.
No, TK, listen. You did this last night, okay, in the middle of me announcing that it was Santana Appreciation Month. You didn't want me to have my day. So now I'm going to have a month. So today is the day that Santana Appreciation Month starts. So Canada, you get your one day. That's it. You better be glad you get to share it with me. And after that, nobody thinks about Canada anymore. But as you guys know, while we are here for the SmackDown and Rampage post show, so I think that transpired tonight. This is our go home show for Money in the Bank. Don't really feel like, I feel like there's some things that did happen, but then I also feel like not much really took place. But maybe it was because I was looking at two different things at the same time and trying to pay attention. But nonetheless, let's kind of just go ahead and jump right into the show. So we started out with an old classic, nostalgic of what you guys may remember back in that time when WWE did this once before. But Omos, I guess, decided that, you know what, I don't want to stand up there because I'm better than you and I'm tall enough already. So why would I need to get up there and look stupid? So this picture looks very, very weird because he's just kind of just standing there like a mannequin or something. They all just sit there and they talked about how, they was gonna win, and Sheamus talked about that he won already. He cashed in on the Roman and so on and so forth. I mean, Omos this is his first Money in the Bank that he's gonna be a part of. I'm fairly excited because I want to see how. We already talked about it. You already know how I feel about Omos. I know exactly what he's gonna do in this match. I'm very excited. But it just seemed to be a lot of bickering going on. And then, they had to figure out who was going to be the final person to be a part of the men's Money in the Bank. So they had so many different people come out, from Madcap Moss to Baron Corbin, Happy Corbin, to Ezekiel. It's just so many people that came out. So they decided that they was going to have like a good old-fashioned battle royal. Miz came out like good old fashioned battle royal, and this really what kicked off the show tonight. And well, I mean, Happy Corbin won this entire match. It was quite interesting to have this open up the show, but I think it kind of confused a little bit of people in regards to like, okay, well, what was the point of having this battle royal if Happy Corbin isn't in the Money in the Bank match? I didn't understand it. I just think they need something to do, to be honest. What do you think?
Yeah, I did think I was a little bit confused at first because they did announce at the beginning that there was that one spot left. And with everyone, on the ladders and everything talking about, their past performances or lack thereof, in the Money in the Bank match, and the other people and everyone else came out there or whatever, I was just like, so if they're gonna have, are they gonna have like this good old fashioned battle royal to see who's going to be the final guy? Or what? But then as it turns out, that wasn't what happened. So I was kind of confused at first, but then after that, I just kind of let it ride and then just let the battle royal happen. And yeah, it was crazy stuff. But then, Happy Corbin won, and he definitely made it his business to sort of rub it in the face of Pat McAfee. So
Oh, of course.
yeah. Also, I would like to say that I love how Happy Corbin has on this T-shirt, which channels 1990s like rock from the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
um, so yeah, but I think this was an opportunity for Corbin to kind of just rub his victory in Pat McAfee's face and not really serving any purpose for the Money in the Bank match. Um, yeah, so that was pretty much it.
Well, maybe he won this battle royal for The Rock. He did it for The Rock, and somehow, some way.
He did it for the
But
people.
well, I guess for the people, I don't know. As we move on into the show, Viking Raiders. Well, the Viking, I guess, evil, vengeance, poisonous Raiders just came back tonight with a looks very different. A lot darker eye paint. And of course they have their, talk with the New Day. And I mean, are you feeling this heelish side of the Viking evil, revengeful Raiders? Whatever adjectives they want to utilize with them.
No, I mean, I feel like it's nice for a change of pace because we've only ever seen them as, faces.
Right.
But at the same time, I do still miss them as faces because they were just happier and peppier. And I feel like they were definitely at their best as faces when they were feuding with the Street Profits during the
Mm-hmm.
height of the pandemic. But it's just them as, heels at this point would probably is definitely like a change of pace, and I do like it. Um, but it's just, yeah, it takes some getting used to. But I don't like them beating up on the New Day though.
Nobody likes them beating up on the
Don't
New Day.
like that at all. Don't beat up on my
Nobody likes
boys.
that. No, nobody likes that like at all whatsoever. But I mean, of course, we had big paper being fallen and thrown out of the sky and everything by the New Day, and then of course, the Viking whatever Raiders, they just throwing in a lot of different, words to describe them, and they came out. But honestly, I really, I will have to say that I do like their new look. Um, I feel like it does bring a lot more detail to this heelish side of them, honestly.
Hmm.
Versus when we, if you watch NXT, they were, heels there, but they're an amazing tag team. I know a lot of people, there are some people who dislike the Viking Raiders, but I think they are an incredible tag team. They really, really are. And I'm excited to see what's next for them. At least we don't have to continue to see the New Day, have their issue with the brawling brutes. Okay, they're a
Yeah,
little
I'm
distracted.
glad that's over
They're
finally.
a little distracted right now, so we don't really have to worry about them um, facing each other at all whatsoever. So as we move on into the show, we had a what is it? The Usos, ATA X something or whatever. It was
Ask
just
them anything.
whatever, I guess. This got really it's got really interesting. There was a lot of questions being thrown, a lot of hints into like maybe the Street Profits could be breaking up. Which I know for a fact that there have been multiple times where conversations have been where they pay attention a lot more to Montez. He's gotten a lot bigger. He's gotten a lot swoller. A lot of people think that he has a lot of charisma. He's a star. Even Bianca, his wife, said that she thinks Montez is a star. And I don't know. Like I personally don't think I could see the Street Profits breaking up. I personally would not want them to break up, but I mean, you really don't know when it comes to WWE and their taxes. I mean, they've been together for a while now, So I think seeing them by themselves, it would look like it just wouldn't feel the same. Honestly, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, okay, let's just read the comment first. From Joseph, who is our faithful watcher. Asked me anything. This was so weird. I swore Montez beat Jay on Raw for the right to pick a stipulation. Thought it would be revealed here. Usos have had those belts for one calendar year.
Mhm.
Yeah, Montez did beat Jay, and I do believe they were supposed to pick a stipulation, and
Mhm.
they didn't mention it. That is odd. Huh?
I was like, no, they didn't mention it at all whatsoever. I thought maybe they would have, but they didn't even say it. They didn't even say anything about it.
Yeah, but what I will say is this though. This segment was a whole lot better than what I was expecting.
Mhm.
Because I got excited about it at first because they were just like the whole ask me anything. Usually when they do stuff like that, they kind of release a hashtag where they read stuff from the fans or whatever from social media. And I looked and I didn't see one. But the questions that were asked were still pretty good, and they had great responses to them. And you could tell that the Usos, of course, have that intensity, but then at the same time, you have the Street Profits who are more hungrier than they are, but yet still showing the Usos their respect. And that was a really good like there was just a lot of fire between the two, and I actually appreciated that. And then with that question that Kayla posed to Montez and talking about, how they may not be getting along and how they mentioned dirt sheets mentioning that, I thought that was really funny too, because, they gonna be the ones that's dirt sheets. They have a tendency to stir stuff up at times that
They
might not necessarily even be there. But at the same time, you can't ignore the fact that people have been, alluding that Montez could be the one to break out and have his moment because he's had so many solo matches, before,
do.
and he's performed incredibly well. He's working out more, and you see his personality and his charisma out there. So it's clear that they're probably going to be, on one accord when it comes to these tag titles. But I do wonder what might happen to them if they do lose this opportunity because it's like Kayla said, they've lost every tag team title opportunity they've had since WrestleMania, if
Mhm.
not before then, and even after then. So, what is going to happen to the Street Profits and where can they go from that point if they do lose to the Usos?
I mean, me personally, I would hope that this whole not seeing eye to eye thing is not real. And
Yeah.
that it's playing into a storyline just to try to make it seem like there's something going on. But I don't know. Maybe tomorrow it may show on screen where they may have a miscommunication on a spot that they're trying to do together or something like that. Honestly, you just really don't know. But what we do know is that we had a little run race show that happened tonight. We did. Of course, Max Dupree just can't seem to stay out of Adam Pierce, vicinity. Like he just doesn't believe in the 6 feet rule, arm length. He just doesn't believe in none of that. But we did get a chance to see. the models that he has been talking about. And wow. We got, what is it? Monse and Mansoir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, Mansoir looks really nice. I mean, he's definitely giving face. He definitely looks way better than what he normally when he looked like when he got thrown to that table by Brock Lesnar, as well as being a part of Retribution too. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's definitely giving chiseled face, hair, fresh cut,
Yes.
earrings for days, and then Mansoor, well, Monsway, say or whatever. Mm, I mean, hair is nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
Very shaped and cut for the beard. And I mean, he looks I don't know if they had him like suck it in and like just walk like really, really buff and muscular, but he's definitely been toning and getting a lot bigger um than the last time we saw him. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe for one episode, we might have to include Maximum Male Models with the
Please do.
2022 tennis wear collection that they're supposed to, give us and show us next week on SmackDown. I'm very interested to see. Very interested to see how that goes, Stephanie. I mean, when you first saw this, they came out, they gave us definitely they walked the runway. What was going through your mind when you saw this?
Like it was giving fashion show and I really liked it. And I feel like the part that I liked the most was just the narration from Max Dupree and Pat McAfee. They were adding so much color with all the words that they were saying, to these men that were modeling these clothes or at least the style of the day. Like these outfits, especially um Mace's outfit. I'm just gonna call him Mace because I don't have the pronunciations of their new names yet. But it's just the fact that Mace came out and that really looks like something somebody would wear
Mhm.
when they're out or doing like a photo shoot or out at the club or something when they're trying to pull somebody. Like they looked they looked really like it looked like the best part of modern style from both of them. And I just appreciated it so much and their dedication to it. Even though it's silly, it's
It was
like because you've seen them before do other things, but at the same time, it was still good. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It's something different and I liked it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's next with the tennis wear collection as well. And I'm wondering if they're going to add more guys. Like I want them to add some more guys and it's not just those two. Like I want more.
listen.
I, I'm interested.
Here we are. I for me, I would not mind seeing Pete Dunne walk the damn runway. Okay. The
Oh,
hair over this way, you know what I'm saying? Like get him out of the stuff you got him wearing right now. Let him wear some of this stuff that Max Dupree got going on and just for one night. That's all I ask for. Do it for me. And then he can go beat the hell out of all these guys and go about his business at this point, to be honest. But I mean, we'll see next week what they have. I hope they bring out the Hoochie Daddy shorts for the tennis collection. So
yes. And I lived for Mace's accessories that he had in his locks. I lived for them. They're so beautiful.
it
Like
is.
it just accentuated his skin and his hair and everything. I was like, come on,
It
step
was,
on through.
it was definitely given for the girls. I tell you that much. It was definitely given. As we move on forward to a lot of bickering that took place, what took place between these guys here. The Miz, of course, is yelling at the top of his lungs, and you see Adam trying to calm everybody down. I mean, it was very chaotic here, which led up to this match here, the qualifying match, Fatal 4-Way for the final spot for Money in the Bank. Madcap Moss, Ezekiel, The Miz, and Happy Corbin. Now, Happy Corbin did win the Bragging Rights Battle Royal. They want to call it a good old fashioned Battle Royal earlier. Um, but he didn't win this one. He did
Mm-hmm.
not. Um, everyone put out everyone put out like a really nice fight for it, but he just couldn't get the win. And now we have it. I mean, we have this completed qualifying match for Money in the Bank. Is no more. It's done. We have all our participants: Drew McIntyre, Matt Riddle, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Sheamus, Madcap Moss, and Omos. So, Stephanie, did you think Madcap was gonna win this, or did you think maybe Ezekiel? Zeke the Freak. Everyone wants to speak with Zeke. Zeke Mania, Zeke Money in the Bank. Um, did you think the Miz was going to take this, or did you think Happy Corbin was going to take this again? Like win a match 2 times in a row tonight?
It was kind of hard to predict. I know I didn't necessarily predict Madcap Moss to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Um so him winning was definitely a really great surprise. I feel like this is a good opportunity for him, considering he's just, finding his footing on his own. So I am happy for him that he has this opportunity. The Miz doesn't need the opportunity anymore. He's had it multiple times. So we're kind of good on that. And then when it comes to Corbin, he had his chance as well. So Madcap Moss I believe Madcap Moss definitely earned this opportunity, and I'm happy that he won it. But
Yeah.
what I will say is this, though: I think the Miz did get caught up more so in his fame and stuff that he had going on, talking about how he was on the Today Show this morning and how
Mhm.
he flew 2,500 miles to be there in Phoenix, which I will admit that is like a cross country flight. But Jesus Christ, that was funny. But yeah, Madcap Moss is that dude now, so I'm good with it.
He is. He is. Joseph said they spent most of the night building towards Pat versus Happy. It was obvious when Madcap won. Yeah, because I mean, you saw how Pat was when Happy Corbin was just sitting off though to the side by himself. Bomb ass Corbin, sad ass Corbin, mad ass Corbin, weak ass Corbin, stupid ass Corbin, bitch ass Corbin.
All
All
that
the Corbins,
Corbin.
all of the asses and the bums that he shall remain to be. Sorry, Nikki. No, I had to do it. But let's go ahead and pretty much just that was pretty much all for the men tonight. I mean, nothing I would say really took place major with them. We finally just got our last slot. And now we're about to jump into the women before we get into our predictions. Yeah, you ready for the women? Because these girls, let's kind of just start with Natty right quick.
Yeah.
Um, Natty. If Natty doesn't do anything else, she's gonna find a way to get up under Ronda Rousey's skin. If she doesn't do anything else, she's gonna find a way to get up under Ronda Rousey's skin. And when she cut her promo tonight, which in the interview, she talked about how she's faced Ronda before. She's no stranger to her in the ring. She said she's gonna take that title from her and leave her laying out and maybe send her back home to be a mama. It's just you gotta respect Natty. I mean, Natty has done so much in the business. I mean, and of course, maybe she wins, maybe she doesn't. But Natty does have a fighting chance because there have been multiple times when Natty has proven that, and has always proven that she is the best of all time. So I mean, it is what it is. Stephanie, what did you think? Do you think? And I know that Rhonda did an interview as well. Responding to what Natty had to say. How do you think this match is going to go? On tomorrow with these two, have you been enjoying the small feud that they've been having leading up to their match?
Yes, I have been enjoying the feud. I was actually here for the match, once Natty became the
Mhm.
number one contender,
Yeah.
because I knew that both of these women were going to fight each other with all that they have and all of their um knowledge in the ring. Because of course you have Natty, who's a heart and everything that entails in wrestling history, and then you also have Ronda, who is like an absolute, like force when it comes to her submission work and her MMA background and all of the above. Like I was interested in seeing how that was going to, play out. But in this feud that's been so short, we've seen more personality from the both of them than we have seen in the past lately during this run of Ronda Rousey.
Mhm.
And I'm really ready to see what they both have to offer in ring. So I'm really excited for it. I will also venture to say that Natty really needs to steer clear of mentioning Ronda's baby because we saw what happened to Charlotte when she decided to wish Ronda a happy Mother's Day in a mocking fashion. She wrecked her and basically almost ripped her arm out of the socket. So Natty might need to chill a bit on the baby talk before something bad happens to her on tomorrow. But I am looking forward to seeing this match. I really am looking forward to it. It's gonna be cool.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Ronda could end up like this. You know,
She could.
she really could. Natty standing tall in this match with these two. But let's go ahead and continue on with the women that took place tonight. So we had a 6-woman tag team match, Raw versus SmackDown edition. Of course, Shotzi, Lacey, and Raquel representing SmackDown, and of course, Liv, Alexa, and Asuka representing Raw. 6 out of the 7 competitors who will be a part of the Women's Money in the Bank taking place on tomorrow. This match was fairly interesting to see with all of these women, and of course, Team Raw ended up picking up the win. There was a lot of miscommunication between Shotzi and Lacey Evans. Honestly, they just seems like they weren't being on the same page. Raquel, she's doing her part and everything, but Shotzi was really, really in this match a lot. Liv almost killed herself trying to do that suicide dive, no pun intended. Liv, please stop doing that. Literally, you I don't know what it is. I don't think you have enough height on your suicide dive or what, but you're gonna come to a point where you literally land on your face and break your neck, and we don't need that to happen. So you need to figure out another way to attack your opponents outside of the ring because the suicide dive is just not working. But I mean, of course, before this match even got the chance to start, Becky Lynch, shows up and said, no, 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 you guys are not going to be able to see me in this match tonight, but you guys all have to wait to see me in the ring tomorrow at Money in the Bank. And I mean, it's Becky. I mean, what more can you really expect from her? But like I said, Team Raw ended up picking up the win. And even after the match, Becky took it upon herself to obviously continue her feud with Asuka by giving her the manhandle slam. So, I mean, this was the only women's match we got tonight. But didn't get to see, I know they had like all the superstars on here. We didn't see Bianca. Maybe she had a dark match or something. We didn't see Carmella or anything of that nature either. So, I mean, what did you think of this match, Stephanie? This is a nice way to kind of have the girls mix and mingle before they all step into the ring tomorrow. Woman, everybody for themselves for this Money in the Bank opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like it was a pretty solid match in terms of the action. But then you also had sort of Becky on commentary talking about, everything she had done because of course everything has to be all about her all of the time or whatever. And it was just like it was a really interesting dynamic with her on commentary, talking about and giving her 2 cents on all the women, while they were doing their things, and her sort of being worried when she saw Raquel and so many different things. But at the same time, it's just I think at this point I just want Becky to suffer more. I want her to suffer more. That I know that sounds horrible. Um but it's just since I just feel like since SummerSlam, I've just had this of last year, I've just had this grudge against her where even after Bianca beat her finally and took the Raw Women's title from her, it's like she's been losing a lot and she's just been like just on the struggle bus lately. But I want her to ride the struggle bus some more so she can figure out, who she is and
Mhm.
realize and humble herself a bit. So honestly, I feel like with all the big talk that Becky was doing and with her giving that busted ass rock bottom to Asuka as she walked away or whatever, looking like she was on top of the world and everything,
Mhm.
she's going to get knocked off of her perch tomorrow and she's not going to win that Money in the Bank contract. And she's just going to have to stay on that struggle bus a little bit longer because I just want her to be punished and to suffer um, a little bit more for those 26 seconds and then she continued to brag about it even on commentary. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, ma'am, sit down. Okay. That was last year. We're getting ready to prepare for SummerSlam of this year. This is not your time. You like it doesn't matter what giant sunglasses you wear, what fur coats you wear, and all of the above. Ma'am, you are still nothing more than a woman who lost, and you need to chill and realize that other women deserve opportunities other than you. Like, it's gross, and I'm sick of it. So she needs to just be on the struggle bus for a little bit longer. But the match itself was really good, though.
I am screaming. Joseph also said that the match was fun, but he thinks Vince didn't want us to care about the match. He wanted us to hear Becky on commentary. This is a great field for Money in the Bank. I hope Becky and Oscar don't win. They don't benefit from the case. Any of the other five benefit. And Joseph also agrees with you, Stephanie. Becky needs to suffer and chase that title for an extended period of time. Well, let's hope that she does. But that brings us to the end of basically SmackDown. But we're going to get into our predictions for Money in the Bank.
Wait, there was one more thing that happened that involved a woman. Sonya went backstage and got buck with Adam Pearce and then slapped him in the face after saying she filed a complaint against him.
Mm. Mm. No one, I forgot that. She wanted to file a complaint because she got fired and she's not going to get hired back. That's basically what her issue is right now. She's trying to get hired back, and Adam Pearce is not doing it. So I just think that maybe she just needs to like let it go and like move on. But it is what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into our Money in the Bank predictions. If you weren't here Monday to hear mine, I'm definitely gonna give mine again. So we're gonna start with the men's Money in the Bank. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Omos versus Sami Zayn versus Riddle versus Madcap Moss. Who do you think, Stephanie, is going to win this year's men's Money in the Bank?
Who? Jesus. It's so stacked. It's hard to tell. Oh my gosh, who could win?
Mm.
I'm going to predict that maybe I'm gonna predict Sami Zayn.
The head of the table's ass.
Yeah.
What a lot of people like to refer to him as. For me, I could go for Omos. But I don't think he's gonna win. I could go for Omos, but I don't think he's gonna win. I think he's a great access to Money in the Bank. But honestly, I don't even think I remember who I chose, but I feel like I would probably think that it could be Seth. Honestly, I think it could be Seth Rollins. But then again, it could be Drew McIntyre. But then again, Drew is supposed to have this match at the Clash of Castles with Roman Reigns, anyways, supposedly. So I'm gonna go with Seth as my prediction to win the men's Money in the Bank. So you have Sammy, I have Seth. We got the S's.
Yeah.
Mine is Sheamus. Okay, so we move on to the women's Money in the Bank. You guys who are watching, you can put in the chat who you think is going to win as well. Who's your pick to win any of these matches that we talk about here? So for the women's, of course, like we said, Lacey Evans versus Alexa Bliss versus Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez versus Asuka versus Shotzi versus Becky. Who do you think is going to win the women's Money in the Bank ladder match?
I have 2 picks for this.
I feel like I know which one. One is one, but
I have 2 predictions for the women's Money in the Bank match. My first one is Shotzi. Simply because of the fact that I just want to see what she would do with an opportunity of this magnitude, because I feel like she hasn't had one like this since she's been brought up to the main roster, and I just want to see her, have that type of opportunity and sort of with people's, play with people's minds in terms of like head games with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like that would just be something different and something cool if it's Shotzi. My second prediction is Liv, simply because of the fact that she's Liv and she's just worked so hard and she tries, so hard in everything that she does, but she always falls short. So I feel like if she did win the Money in the Bank briefcase, it would be a great opportunity for her. So yeah, because it's like the other women, it's like outside of Lacey and outside of Raquel, the other women have already had some modicum of success with the Money in the Bank briefcase. So yeah, it's either Liv or Shotzi for me.
Well, I think for me, I would probably bet on. I would love for Bailey to just like knock somebody out the way and just hop in. I really would. I just want to knock somebody out the way and just take their spot and win the Money in the Bank so we can get a proper thing with her and Bianca. But then that'll make me mad all over again because I don't want nobody cashing on Bianca. If they do, I hope it's unsuccessful. I will say that.
Yeah, because we haven't had an unsuccessful women's cash in.
Not that
We
I
haven't.
know. Everybody has cashed in on somebody.
Yeah.
Everybody. So maybe we'll get our first one. Who really knows? Maybe they'll try to let them hold it longer than just that night, and that's it. Let's see. So I think for me, I would probably honestly the way that it just feels as if like the way that they're doing things, it could be either Raquel or Lacey. I think I would probably go with Raquel for this one. Honestly, I feel like I would. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Raquel.
But also in the history of Mrs. Money in the Bank, I believe Carmella is probably the only one who didn't cash it in the night that she wanted. Even though hers had a whole different caveat in it that won't be mentioned here. But it's just
hers for like 48 hours, so you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then she re-won it, and then she held on to it for a while after that. So
she did. She definitely did. Okay, so speaking of Carmella, let's dive into the Raw Women's Championship match. Bianca Belair versus Carmella. Everybody knows who I have. Who I know is going to retain. No questions asked. But I do know that it's going to be a nice match. But will it be a match? Will it be a match, honestly? I don't know. But I'm excited to see what's going to transpire. I will say that. But I'm definitely running with Bianca to win and retain her championship.
Yep, I predict Bianca as well. She's the EST for a reason. Carmella's gonna try. And Mella may be money, but she will be broke after this match.
I'm screaming. And next up, Ronda Rousey versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. You know, I would love for Natalya to win, but I mean, come on. They're not letting Ronda lose that title anytime soon. They're not. So, but I'm still gonna pick Natty. Because you never know. Natty can pull out something out the woodworks and they may switch it in the middle of the match or something. I'm going with Natty.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going with Ronda simply because of the fact that I feel like Natty I feel like Natty's gonna give Ronda a good education
Mm-hmm.
in the ring. She's gonna educate her in the ring a little bit,
Factor.
but
Corey better find himself a seat where he be back on the shelves again. He just got off. I don't think he would.
right, exactly. I don't think he wants those problems. He might mess around and get whipped. Um, but honestly, yeah, it's Ronda for me. I predict that Ronda's gonna retain, after some education from Natty.
Mm-hmm. All right, so move on to the United States Championship Theory versus Bobby Lashley. I'm gonna go with Bobby Lashley. I think Bobby Lashley has the option to win this title off of Theory.
I'm gonna go with Bobby Lashley too. Simply because of the fact that I feel like over the next couple of weeks we might be seeing a different side of Theory, and we might see him possibly challenge a certain OG that we can't see.
Oh God, I was so happy Monday. You have no idea. All right, so last but not least, of course, the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships, the Usos versus the Street Profits. I am going to go with the Street Profits. I am, man. I feel like it has to be their time. Like it has to be. I am definitely gonna go with the Street Profits. I don't care. Like I don't care. I know that I don't care about nobody saying I know that so they're gonna retain. They have to keep their goal for the bloodline. I'm going with the Street Profits.
Well, as much as I love the Street Profits in my spirit, I'm predicting that the Usos are going to retain, and that this might be the beginning of the end for the Street Profits.
I hope not, but
I'm sorry, but
I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't. I really don't. But here we are, and that's our prediction, you guys, for Money in the Bank. Make sure you guys while we're wrapping up a little bit of SmackDown before we dive into Rampage. So tomorrow, or today for some of you guys on the East Coast, we will be having a Money in the Bank post show. It'll be me and Nikki and whoever else chooses decide they want to pop in. All is welcome. We don't bite, by no means necessary. Just be prepared for if your fave loses or anything, or if they win, prepare for all of the slander because it's going to transpire. I will tell you that. There's no holds bars. This is a death match. Falls kind of anywhere, brawl, whatever you want to call it. That's what it is. Profits became 2-time SmackDown champions, once SmackDown champions. Don't want the end. I don't either. I want more for them, but who knows? So yeah, make sure you guys come back. Definitely tune into the post show for Money in the Bank tomorrow with me and Nikki. And like I said, all is welcome to join and hear our thoughts on the show. And maybe we get some surprises. We really don't know, but yeah, and definitely be tuning in for my big announcement too, because I don't know, y'all. You gotta find out what's happening next week wise.
big announcement.
Yeah.
San.
Nobody's gonna know. Nobody knows until Money in the Bank. Everybody, well, you have to come to the Money in the Bank post show to know what the big announcement is.
Oh,
That's when everybody's gonna find out what's gonna transpire. So
okay. I'm excited.
Well,
I'm intrigued.
You gotta come watch. You gotta come figure out. You never know when I'm gonna say it or anything like that of that nature. And obviously my light wants me to see the light because it keeps peeling me out. Why I don't know. But
yeah, it's really bright.
It is. It's awful. It always do me like this. I never understand why. But it always put me in like a weird angle. But yeah, so you definitely gotta come back for the Money in the Bank post show to figure out what the big announcement is and so on and so forth. Who knows how long it's gonna be, but yeah, some things are changing around here. So we're moving on over into Rampage, which I like to say is Stephanie's turf. So Stephanie, the floor is yours. I'm on the sidelines.
Okay. So with AEW Rampage tonight, it started with a 2-ring Royal Rampage. Basically, this was another battle royal. Basically, this was just a night of the battle royals. On both shows. It was funny. So they had 2 rings, and basically they had different superstars being assigned to the red ring or the blue ring. And whoever basically eliminated the person in the final 2 were going to receive the first shot at the AEW interim world title with Jon Moxley next week at Dynamite. So this match was pretty interesting in the sense that I have never actually seen a battle royal take place, with 2 different rings. So it's kind of like you had to like have double vision and watch what was going on both rings. But you had the likes of Swerve Strickland there. You had the likes of Keith Lee, like basically everybody who's anybody in AEW, and a little bit of New Japan Pro Wrestling thrown in there as well was in this match. Darby Allin was in this match and all of the above. Orange Cassidy was in it and everything. Ricky Starks, Powerhouse Hobbs, everybody was in it. So this match was really good, and it felt like it got really fast towards the end. There were a lot of shocking eliminations for me in terms of Powerhouse Hobbs and Keith Lee being eliminated fairly quickly. It was just a lot of stuff going on until finally the final 2 was Darby Allin and Brody King from the House of Black. And it was looking kind of scary at first until Brody King put Darby Allin in a chokehold and then dropped him outside of the ring, and he was able to stand as the victor in the match. So now Brody King from the House of Black will be facing off against Jon Moxley for the AEW Interim World Championship next Wednesday on Dynamite.
I mean, they came in starting with this match.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta stop letting Keith Lee and Swerve come out behind each other. Because after the last battle royal that happened, I thought maybe it was gonna happen again, but it did. And I mean, I thought maybe Darby would have won, but I'm not mad that Brody won either. I'm not, because Brody is fantastic. He's amazing. He's an amazing wrestler. He really is, and I'm excited to see what him and Jon Moxley do on Wednesday. Like, we already know how Jon Moxley is, but you got Brody. He's a bigger guy, powerhouse, bulldozer, running people over like it's nothing. But it was nice to see Dustin in there. We got a little rap from of course Max Caster. Like, oh, come on. You're always gonna have a rap from him. It never fails. All types of outrageous things that he say. And so it was cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his rap actually made a reference to the Malice at the Palace. If you're an NBA fan, you know how the history of what that was, and I thought that was really interesting. And then he somehow mentioned Rudy Giuliani too getting beat up, and I was like, okay. Yeah. But outside of that, that was pretty interesting.
It was, but I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was nice to see, some of the guys they normally have, but yeah, Joseph, he stated that he wished this match got a proper story. Imagine all the things that could happen between Blackpool Combat Club and House of Black. Now it's next week. Jon Moxley will have to worry about the possibility of Julia Hart being at ringside. Yeah, definitely, because, since she's joined House of Black, I mean, like, their entrance that they had on Dark was fire. It was so dope. Like, just the way it was like they were coming out the galaxy or something, like some type of black aura or something was going on back here. It was very fitting for them, and it was definitely done right, especially with the camera angle. It was done perfectly. So I mean, who knows? Maybe Moxley would get a black mist into his face or something that major. Maybe Blackpool Combat Club might need to add them a woman to their stable. And so on and so forth. I know they had kind of maybe talks of like Serena Deeb maybe joining or whatever, but I think they may have switched that out and maybe want to put someone else in. Honestly, who knows? Whoever they put in there, I would be very excited to see what they come up with. And obviously it has to be somebody who's just as great as everyone who's in Blackpool Comeback Club. It's a must. So shout out to Brody for winning. I'm excited to see what him and Jon Moxley got in store for us. I'm excited to see. Oh, the Young Bucks.
Yeah, those Young Bucks. So very extra and crazy. But with this match, this was my first time seeing the Young Bucks as opponents, and Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. This was my first time seeing this because, of course, on commentary they did mention that just because the Forbidden Door pay-per-view was over does not end the partnership between AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. So they continued on with it with this match here, and it was pretty good. It was really hard hitting, full of high flying stuff from the Young Bucks and of course the opposite team as well. There was a couple of spots where I really thought that the Young Bucks were gonna lose it, especially during the part where they did like a DDT and they also did like a knee to the back of the neck and something else. But then one of the Young Bucks actually kicked out, and I was just like, how in the world do you kick out at 2 from that? Like, Jesus Christ. And they were really giving the best that they could to each other. There was other impressive spots where the Young Bucks actually jumped up on the top rope and actually did backflips onto the other teams, and I believe it was them doing their special DDT move, and the Young Bucks wound up winning that match. This was a non-title match, but the match was really good, and it was very theatrical. Not theatrical, but it was really like full of acrobatics, so it was really good. But the Young Bucks came out the victor.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that I'm not the biggest Young Bucks fan, but I am glad that they are carrying those titles. I really am. With the guys from New Japan and everything. I mean, of course, we already know the Bucks. They've wrestled in New Japan before, so I didn't expect nothing less from them. I mean, they always wrestle. They always know how to match energy with people in the ring, which makes them a very charismatic and entertaining tag team. It's like they just go out there and have fun all the time. But I mean, I didn't think the Young Bucks were going to lose. Like, you're not going to let someone come onto your turf and lose, right? No.
Right.
You're not going to win. It's your turf, not at all. But, I mean, hey, I'm excited and still happy that the Forbidden Door is, like, still open with their partnership for, AEW and New Japan. Maybe we'll start seeing a lot more of some more other Joshi wrestlers come over to AEW and vice versa. And get involved somehow, some way. So I'm fairly excited. I want to know what's next for the Young Bucks in regards to who their, next opponents could be. I mean, because of course we know what happened with Jurassic Express. They're no more. In the eyes of Christian and Luchasaurus, since they're working together now, and Luchasaurus is in all black, and then Jungle Boy I think is injured. So I'm like, I mean, I wonder what's next for the Young Bucks. I mean, what do they have in mind? Like, what's in store? I wonder if they're going to start wrestling some more wrestlers from New Japan or something of that nature. But I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of them, but hey, I doubt that they were going to lose anyway. It's the Young Bucks. They're going to let them lose. Like, not at all.
Yeah, especially after winning those tag titles back. I didn't think they were going to lose either. But in this match it was a really great back and forth between the two teams. But the Young Bucks came out to the victor.
Per usual. Hope you gets that. Wow. I know we had some other stuff going on. Like, I know we had a promo from Jonathan Gresham. I mean, one of the best promos that I've seen him do in a very, very long time. I know that they did announce for the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. I think it takes place on July 23rd. I want to say. I think it's July 23rd. They're having their pay-per-view for Ring of Honor, and I'm excited to see what they have in store for Ring of Honor. I mean, this is like their first pay-per-view that they're having outside of their like special that they have for Supercard, but they're having their pay-per-view. I think it's July 23rd. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I mean, I'm excited to see, what's going to happen over there. I feel like for the women, I think we might get Serenity with Mercedes Martinez. I was going to put that out there because, they've been in the tag together and stuff like that. But I really want to see them go against each other. I feel like Serenity is, they both have similarities being technical type wrestlers, submission holders as well. And so I'm fairly excited. Yeah. Thank you, Joseph. Yes, it's 23rd in Westchester, Massachusetts. Tickets go on sale Friday. AEW TV will be in the same city that following Wednesday. So, of course, they're probably, filming Dynamite and, filming Rampage and Dark and all that good stuff there. But, I mean, was there anything else that took place tonight outside of that? I thought it was supposed to see from Hook. We saw Hook, didn't we?
Yeah, Hook had a promo, but he really didn't say as much.
Mm-hmm.
He was eating chips, but then he also got bucked with the interviewer. And
Mhm.
after that point, that was pretty much it. And then of course Nyla and Tony had their promo.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that was basically about it for Rampage, unless we're missing something. Tell us if we're
Well,
missing something in the chat.
Well, I mean, in regards to like Tony and Nyla having a main event match on Rampage, I thought that was great. I mean,
Yeah.
I just felt like we finally get a chance to see Nyla like really speak for herself. You know what I'm saying? Like Nyla, shout out to Nyla because she did come on Women's Wrestling Talk yesterday for Faye Jackson's birthday celebration with the Creek Squad. A lot of them came out. Sunny, Xavier Woods, Big E, just a lot of people came in and shouted out Faye, JTG, Tasha Steelz hung out and didn't want to leave. You know what I'm saying? She didn't want to leave. But it was very good. So it was nice to have Nyla come in, and Nyla's a character. I mean she's so funny. She really is. And yeah, but I mean of course you have them having the main event. With Nyla versus Toni Storm, which I personally thought was a really good match. Nyla has been a thorn in Toni Storm's behind for a while now. I will say that. So it's bound to happen for them to have this match. It was fairly good. I thought maybe Nyla would have got one over on Toni, but it didn't seem like it, even though Marina, she's trying to find her way into this match somehow, some way. But I'm just like, Marina, you're not the best wrestler around. Trust me, I see you many times on Dark. That's why sometimes I think you should stay there. You're not that good. But I mean, it was fairly nice to see Nyla and Toni match up. I feel like they're giving me this because they don't want to give me Nyla and Jade.
Oh,
Because that's what I want. I've been asking for Nyla and Jade for a very, very long time now, but they won't give me that. I had a little bit, but Thunder Rosa was in the middle of it, and that's not what I wanted. I didn't want no triple threat match with Nyla and Thunder and Jade. I wanted strictly just one-on-one Nyla Rose versus Jade Cargill, but they won't give me that, so I settled.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that it couldn't happen. So I mean, I think it just has to be the perfect opportunity, and everything has to mesh right and be right in terms of all the stars will be aligned for that, I'm sure. But I did enjoy the Nyla Rose and Toni Storm match. It was a couple moments where I thought Toni really wasn't going to win because I thought Nyla Rose was just a little bit too imposing for her. But Toni, did show that she was game for it. And I also appreciated how she was tired of the shenanigans of Marina Shafir, who keeps talking about how she's, the problem and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, ma'am, no, you're not. I mean, you're a problem, but it's a different type of problem. And it's just like, so instead of standing on your own as a wrestler, like, are you just riding the coattails of Nyla at this point? Like, or like, what are you doing, ma'am? Like, what is this? And I was glad that Tony was able to see it for what it was and actually continue to attack her every time Marina tried to interfere. So I was happy with that, and the fact that Tony won, and then even afterward with Nyla and Marina attacking her, you had the mutual respect between Tony and Thunder Rosa. And
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa came out there to help her and everything, and that was really cool. That was a cool moment between them two. And the fact that Tony Schiavone actually said on commentary that, as a team, Tony and Thunder Rosa would be known as a thunderstorm. And I was just like, come on, Tony Schiavone. Come on. I thought that was cool. But yeah, it was a great main event.
I feel like they just don't like me. I did not want to end up to see this Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm being any form of a tag. I hope that this is a one-off because they are supposed to have a tag match on Wednesday. This Thunderstorm in air quotes, but I'm not sure my air quotes right now, versus Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir in a tag team match on Dynamite. So hopefully this thunderstorm goes away, so it can be bright and sunny outside again.
Follow the polygons, guys.
Follow us. But I mean, that's pretty much the end of Rampage, to be honest. I mean, like I said, it wasn't that much that really transpired like that. There were some great moments. It was nice to see the women, of course, get the main event and everything, because a lot of times, sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't, but it was nice to see like Nyla and Tony being the main event, of the show. But it comes to the end of this because guess what, guys? There is another post show happening in less than maybe 10 minutes, probably, which I will be hopping over to Impact Against All Odds post show with Nikki. Like I said, there's a lot of things that happen tonight in wrestling on the same night at the same time, and now I feel like I am cross-eyed because I had to look directly side to side or like in the middle. One eye is over here, one over there, trying to pay attention to everything. But yeah, so Money in the Bank is happening tomorrow or today for you guys who are on the East Coast. Make sure you guys come back and hang out with us tomorrow for Money in the Bank post show with me and Nikki, and like I said, whoever chooses to come in and hang out with us. Stephanie, let everyone know where they can find you at, so on and so forth. Stephanie is gearing up for her 100 episode, y'all. In case you didn't know, it's about to be a big celebration.
Yeah, guys. So as usual, thank you. I'm happy to be on here with you, Driune. As usual, you can follow me, your girl Stephanie Hardy, on Instagram and Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy, and you can check out my podcast, the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, everywhere you get your podcast. The 100th episode will be available and up on tomorrow, so please check it out. It's a celebration of the show and how far it's come, and talking about everything I liked in wrestling this week, along with news and a lot of gossipish that's going on in wrestling as well. So please check that out if you can.
And as for me, of course, you can always Google me, Driune Santana. This is Santana Appreciation Month. So all month long, you appreciate me. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll definitely be back next Friday to give you more SmackDown and Rampage. Make sure you guys follow us exclusively on Twitch, because this is where our after shows and all of our other shows you guys can watch and see take place only and exclusively on here first, and then later you will get it on YouTube. Make sure you guys follow us on social media at W Talk Pod, all over on social media. And you can also check out our website at www.talkpod.com. We're gearing up for a lot of things taking place. So, for the rest of this month, man, like it's game time. It's game time. We gotta give you guys what you want, what you need, what you ask for. And that's what we do over here at Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. I will see you guys in like a few minutes, but Stephanie will see you guys on Thursday for Impact. No, excuse me, for NXT. Listen, I am not here right now, okay? I am all over the place. I'm thinking of Impact because that's where I'm about to go. But she's going to be on NXT 2.0 and NXT UK with Katrina. So definitely come back for that. So we'll see you guys next week, next Friday, and you'll see me in the next few minutes. Okay? Okay.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet.